ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you all for the first session, especially those who have done the Journey of Self-Discovery course. So it's very happy to see all of you all back, eager to understand Srimad-Bhagavatam. So we are embarking on a very important and a very long journey also, trying to understand Srimad-Bhagavatam. And very happy that after we mentioned this topic, all of you all seem very interested for this. So in today's session, I'll give you all an idea of what is Srimad-Bhagavatam. So today's session will be like an introductory session for the entire course. The glories of Srimad-Bhagavatam, what is Srimad-Bhagavatam, what is the benefit of Srimad-Bhagavatam, things like that. And from the next Monday on, we will start from chapter 1, right, of Canto 1. So Srimad-Bhagavatam, we considered it to be like a postgraduate study after Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada would say there are three very important books for all devotees: Bhagavad Gita, Srimad-Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So in essence, in one liner, if you want to understand what these three books are, Bhagavad Gita is basically what Lord Krishna spoke. The words of Krishna is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavatam is what Lord Krishna did, the activities of Lord Krishna in his various avatars, the creation part and many other activities. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is what God thinks, what is in the mind of God. So our Vedic literatures, the gamut of Vedic literatures is so vast. We not only know what God speaks, we also know what God does. Not only this, we also know what God thinks. People speak about mind hacking, na? We actually, our acharyas have given us, to Lord Krishna's mercy, we can actually understand what is in the heart of God, what is in the mind of God. So that's how these books are. So generally one studies Bhagavad Gita, then one enters into Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita. But having said that, Srila Prabhupada also encouraged devotees to read Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita simultaneously. So when we read Bhagavatam, our understanding of Bhagavad Gita will also become very, very strong. So all these scriptures are very much interconnected. Like in Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada will quote Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada will quote Bhagavad Gita. So either of the books you start with, your journey of spiritual life will begin very fast. Yesterday was Bhadra Purnima. Yesterday we were having a class in Jordan. Many devotees came there. So there we were explaining how Srila Prabhupada, when he was going on this journey to America on the ship called Jaladut, Prabhupada had just 40 rupees in his pocket. Prabhupada was alone. But the real wealth that Srila Prabhupada had was a trunk filled with Srimad-Bhagavatam. This is what Prabhupada carried. Prabhupada didn't start his journey to America without Srimad-Bhagavatam. Because Prabhupada was thinking on the basis of what shall I preach. So these books, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, are the basis of our spiritual life. We were explaining in the Journey of Self-Discovery course, Shabda Praman, the word of authority. For just like a building to stand, the foundation is very, very important. So similarly, for all of us, if you want to stand strong in spiritual life, if you want to be deeply rooted in spiritual life, books are very, very important. Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is a must. So Srila Prabhupada carried a trunk load of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto of Bhagavatam, probably 200 sets of Bhagavatam Srila Prabhupada carried. That's all. Based on those Bhagavatam sets, now we have ISKCON centers and temples all over the world. So this whole revolution that has happened around the world, you can imagine how many odds were against Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was a 70-year-old man. Age was against him. The health was against him. Already on that ship, before even reaching America, he has already had 2 heart attacks on the ship. Health was against him. He had no followers, no money, nothing. So all the odds were against Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada was going on the ship called Jaladut, Prabhupada had written a beautiful poem, which is in the form of a song. And Prabhupada is expressing his heart there. So Prabhupada is saying, my dear Lord Krishna, I'm going to a foreign land, foreign language, foreign people. Everything is different for Srila Prabhupada. It's not that Prabhupada went to America before. Something completely new for him. Prabhupada was thinking, how will I transform all these people? I don't even have bhakti, I don't even have knowledge. How will I help these people? Srila Prabhupada was very, very humble. There in that poem, Srila Prabhupada mentions how his faith was in Srimad-Bhagavatam. Prabhupada's confidence came from those trunks of those books of Srimad-Bhagavatam that he was carrying. And Prabhupada knew, I will not preach, I will not transform, these books will transform. So Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam are non-different than Krishna. If we have Gita, Bhagavatam in our house, if we read Gita, Bhagavatam regularly, if we attend these programs, we are actually having Krishna in our life. Not indirectly, directly Krishna in our life. And because Srila Prabhupada had so much faith in Bhagavatam, and because Prabhupada distributed Bhagavatam everywhere, based on those 200 sets of first canto, the International Society of Krishna Consciousness grew all over the world. So this entire magic, thousands of devotees, hundreds and thousands of temples, all that started from Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? There's a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tatvag Visargo Janatagla Viplavo Yasmin Pratishloki Apadvati Api Namani Anantasya Yasho Nikitani Yat Shranvanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadhava. This is the first canto of Bhagavatam, where Narad Muni is telling Vyasdev, Tadvag Visargo Janatagla Viplavo. The word Viplava means revolution. This Bhagavatam, by reading Bhagavatam, what can happen? It can bring about a revolution. Revolution where? In one's heart. Revolution, a transformation in the heart. And this verse says, Tadvag Visargo Janatagla Viplavo. All of us are suffering from sinful activities. We all have that inclination to commit sin. That's why we are suffering. This Bhagavatam can eradicate that completely. That is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada had great faith in this book, and Prabhupada knew that this book will transform, and it definitely did happen. So if you all come regularly for these classes, this is just our introductory class. We still have to begin, first canto, second canto. We'll have to see. Beginning anything is very easy, to reach till the end is the challenge. But if you can do this systematically, just by regular attendance in classes of Bhagavatam, there's a verse in Bhagavatam, we'll be discussing these verses. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. This verse says, just by regularly attending classes of Bhagavatam, what will happen? All abhadra, all unwanted things in our heart, all impurities in our heart, lust, anger, pride, greed, envy, illusion, everything will go away. By doing what? Just by coming to these classes. Even if you don't understand anything, or even if you go to sleep, still just coming to the classes itself makes a difference. And if you are awake and if you understand it, take notes, it's all the more beneficial. So Bhagavatam is a very, very important book. Very fortunate, we will discuss the glories of Bhagavatam. Very, very fortunate people, out of billions and trillions of people, very fortunate, very rare people get an opportunity to read Bhagavatam and to hear about Bhagavatam. It's not an ordinary opportunity. Even great demigods hanker for this opportunity. We will discuss more about the glories of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was Srila Prabhupada's guru, he would often say that of all processes of attaining the Supreme, the highest is reading Srimad-Bhagavatam. Therefore, you have the example of Parikshit Maharaj. What is Bhagavatam? Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between Arjuna and Lord Krishna. Arjuna is asking questions, Lord Krishna is answering. Bhagavatam is a conversation between Parikshit and Shukdev Goswami. Parikshit Maharaj is the grandson of Arjuna. The story of Parikshit comes in the first canto. We will enter into that as we get into the chapters. So Parikshit is cursed that he will die in 7 days. So he goes to Shukdev Goswami, who is the son of Vyasdev. Vyasdev is the one who has written all the Vedic literatures. His son Shukdev Goswami, Parikshit approaches him and he's asking him, what is the duty of a person who's about to die? I just have 7 days in my life. I want to perfect my life. I don't want to come back to the cycle of birth and death. I don't want to suffer. How do I perfect my life? And then Shukdev Goswami, in answer to that, speaks Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is a conversation between Parikshit and Shukdev Goswami. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati mentions here, Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days left, right? He had to attain God. He was very serious that I want to get liberated. He didn't waste time in all other processes. He didn't go to a Gyan teacher, a yoga teacher. He didn't do all that. He just heard Bhagavatam. Just by hearing Bhagavatam, sitting and attentively hearing Bhagavatam, the doors to liberation will automatically open up. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada's guru, was so convinced of this. He said that even if all the books on this planet Earth are somehow burnt somewhere, burnt in a library due to some catastrophe, if Srimad-Bhagavatam remains, there is no loss. Because this one book is suffice to bring about all the transformation we are looking for. So, one of our great acharyas, his name was Sanatan Goswami in our line. 500 years ago, this is a real story. Sanatan Goswami and his brother Rupa Goswami, they were the prime ministers and finance minister of the king of Bengal. In those days, 500 years ago, and the entire Bengal was ruled by Nawab Hussain Shah, a Muslim ruler. And Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami became their finance minister and home minister. So Sanatan Goswami, they were staying in a place called Ramkeli in West Bengal. So Sanatan Goswami at one point, he was thinking that he had a dream. And in that dream, he saw a Brahmana. And this Brahmana came and gave him Srimad-Bhagavatam. This happened in a dream. Sanatan Goswami woke up and he was thinking, where is Bhagavatam? He had this beautiful dream where this Brahmana gave him Bhagavatam, but he woke up, there is no Bhagavatam. So he was sincerely praying to the Lord, my dear Lord, I want Bhagavatam in my life. That same day, that same Brahmana he saw in a dream, that same Brahmana came to him and gave him Srimad-Bhagavatam. From that day on, Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, their life and soul revolved around reading Srimad-Bhagavatam. Slowly they started to get detached from all their worldly duties And at one time, they actually ran away from there and entered into Vrindavan and became one of the 6 Goswamis of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the followers of Mahaprabhu. Imagine this. Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami was the Prime Minister, Finance Minister. In today's world, everyone wants to achieve some position. Can anyone achieve a position greater than becoming a Finance Minister, Prime Minister? Isn't it? This is like the biggest dream. But these two people just gave it up as insignificant just to go and dive more and more deeper in Srimad-Bhagavatam. So Sanatan Goswami is one of our great acharyas. By reading Bhagavatam continuously, he wrote a very beautiful composition called Krishna Leela Stava, in which he glorifies Srimad-Bhagavatam. What is Srimad-Bhagavatam? And what is the benefit that we will get by reading Srimad-Bhagavatam? Very beautiful set of verses. So he says here, Sarva Shastra Vidi Piyusha, Sarva Vedika Satvala, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya, Sarva Lokaika Drikpada. So he says, Sarva Shastra Vidi Piyusha. If all the Shastras are like an ocean, Abdi is an ocean, Srimad-Bhagavatam is the essence of all Shastras. We all know that at one time there was Samudra Manthan Leela, right? The demigods and demons did churning of the ocean. Why did they do churning? To get Amrit, right? Because everyone wants Amrit, that nectar in life, right? So here Sanatan Goswami says here, Sarva Shastra Vidi Piyusha. Srimad-Bhagavatam is what? The essence, the nectar drawn from all Vedic literatures. We often give this example. How many of you all like jackfruit? Can raise your hand. How many of you like jackfruit? All of you all like. How many of you all like to cut jackfruit? Only one hand. Everyone likes to eat, but who will cut? Cutting jackfruit, it's all sticky. Put oil and in your hand and then cut it, Skin is so thick, cutting only is difficult. Then remove one, remove that seed, very difficult. But if someone gives you in a packet jackfruit, everything removed, seed removed, everything removed, very easy to eat it, isn't it? So Vedic literatures are like a jackfruit. If someone has to understand the essence, very difficult and very complex to find out that essence. But all our great acharyas, Srimad-Bhagavatam is called Amala Puran, the essence of all Vedic literatures. You see, Parikshit had 7 days left. Shukdev Goswami couldn't speak everything. He had to speak to him the most important subject matter. So Shukdev Goswami chose the most important of all, the essence of all the scriptures. That only he gave Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days left. Right? How many days we have left? We really don't know. Right? In one sense, we all have 7 days only. Because our death will come either one of those 7 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. One of the days it will come. So we are all like Parikshit in one sense. So therefore, Shukdev Goswami is saying here, Sarva Shastra Avadi Piyusha, Sarva Vedika Satphala. If all the Vedas are compared to a tree, Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit. The essence of the tree, the essence of the ocean is nectar, Amrit. The essence of the tree is what? The fruit. So Srimad-Bhagavatam is not only a fruit, it is the ripened fruit. Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya. There are many philosophies in this world. But Srimad-Bhagavatam is the most important crest jewel of all philosophies, the highest philosophy. Sarva Lokaika Drikpada. And Srimad-Bhagavatam shows one truth, the absolute truth, how to reach the spiritual world. Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad-Bhagavatam Prabhu, Kali Dvanta Uddita Aditya, Shri Krishna Parivartita. Srimad-Bhagavatam is very dear to the Vaishnava. Sarva Bhagavata Prana. Bhagavatam means a book. Bhagavat also refers to a devotee. Srila Prabhupada mentions this, we will discuss when we get into the chapters. The word Bhagavat has 2 meanings. One is book Bhagavat and the other is a devotee Bhagavat. So for one who is a pure devotee, what is dear to him? Srimad-Bhagavatam. I gave you the example of Sanatan Goswami. The day Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami got Bhagavatam in their life, they never put it down. They never put it down. Constantly it became their friend. It became their life and soul. They couldn't live without it. People in this world get addicted to so many things. But once you get an addiction to these spiritual books, you cannot live without it. We have in Maharashtra the example of Tukaram Maharaj. In Dehu, Tukaram Maharaj, he actually saw Vittal face to face. At the end of his life, Vaikuntha Viman came and he ascended to the spiritual world. It is explained, Tukaram Maharaj in one hill called Bhamgiri Parvat, Tukaram Maharaj would sit in seclusion and he would day and night read Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam. So he didn't just become realized like that. Sanatan Goswami, Tukaram Maharaj, you name anyone, all of them became who they are by reading Srimad-Bhagavatam. Narad Muni himself, he became Narada. He got that spiritual body by reading Srimad-Bhagavatam. So Srimad-Bhagavatam can make you a great pure devotee. Sarva Bhagavata Prana, it is the life and soul of all great devotees. Srimad-Bhagavatam Prabhu. Because this Srimad-Bhagavatam is called Prabhu. It is not different than the Supreme Lord. Kali Dvanta Udditta Aditya Shri Krishna Parivartita. So we all know that there are 4 yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. Of all the 4 yugas, which is the best? Kali Yuga, no? Which Yuga is best? Satya Yuga is best. But Kali Yuga is also correct answer. In Kali Yuga, what is the characteristic of Kali Yuga? It is a very dark place. A place of lot of suffering, a lot of problems. So it is explained, when does Kali Yuga start? Anyone knows when Kali Yuga started? 5,000 years ago. But exactly what was the point? Yes, when Lord Krishna winded up his pastime, Kali Yuga came. Almost. That is the time. Transition. Right? So Krishna is like the sun. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hai Andhakar. Krishna is like the sun. As long as Lord Krishna was present in this world, Kali means the age of sin, the age of quarrel, hypocrisy, it couldn't enter. But as soon as Lord Krishna went away, Kali Yuga thought I can enter full speed now. Krishna comes again. Krishna Leela ended. Krishna Avatar ended. But the same Krishna comes again. As what? In the form of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Shri Krishna Parivartita. So this Srimad-Bhagavatam is non-different than Lord Krishna. There is a very beautiful verse which says, this is in the Padma Purana. So this verse says, how Srimad-Bhagavatam is non-different than Krishna. Srimad-Bhagavatam has 12 cantos. 12 cantos, right? Divided into 18 books. So Srimad-Bhagavatam, we would encourage all of you all to take Bhagavatam set also in your house. Right? So Srimad-Bhagavatam has 12 cantos, 18 books. What are these 12 cantos? There's a verse in Padma Puran which says, Pado yadiyo pratamo dvitiyo tirtyo turyo katito yad uru nabis tata panchama eva sashto bhujantaram dor yugalam tatanyo kantastu rajan navamo yadiyo mukara vindam dashama prafullam ekadasho yasya lalata pattam shiropi dvadasha eva bhati tam adi devam karunam nidhanam tamala varnam suhanvataram apara samsara samudra setum bhajamahe bhagavata swarupam. So this Bhagavat Swarupa, the Srimad Bhagavatam, is non-different than Krishna. We know Lord Krishna has a very beautiful form. So this verse in the Padma Puran, this set of 2-3 verses, it says that these 12 cantos are non-different than the form of Krishna. How? Pado yadiyo pratamo dvitiyo. The first 2 cantos, Srimad Bhagavatam has total 12 cantos. The first 2 cantos, canto 1, canto 2, are like the feet of Krishna. Pado yadiyo. Tritiyo turyo katito yad uru. The 3rd and 4th canto are like the thighs of Krishna. And then it says, Nabis tata panchama eva sashto. The 5th canto, 3rd and 4th canto is the thighs of Krishna. The 5th canto is like the navel of Lord Krishna. The udara, the stomach of Lord Krishna. And then Bhujantaram Dor Yugalam Tatanyo. And then the 7th and 8th canto, the 6th canto is the chest of Lord Krishna. The 7th and 8th cantos are the arms of Lord Krishna. The 9th canto, Kantastu Rajam Navamam Yadiyo. The 9th canto is like the neck of Lord Krishna. And the 10th canto, which is a very important canto, will take some time to reach there. The 10th canto is considered to be the face of Lord Krishna. Because the 10th canto describes Lord Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan and Dwarka. And then it says, the 11th canto is the forehead of Lord Krishna. And the 12th canto is the head of Lord Krishna. So what it means? Bhajamahe Bhagavata Swarupam. Srimad-Bhagavatam is non-different than Krishna. And by worshipping Lord Krishna, what happens? Apara samsara samudra setum. By worshipping Krishna, we can get rid of the cycle of birth and death. So the point is, Srimad-Bhagavatam is Shri Krishna Parivartita. It is non-different than Lord Krishna. Sanatana Goswami continues ahead. Paramananda Pataya Prema Varshi Akarshayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namostute. I offer my obeisances Shri Krishnaya Namostute. He's offering obeisances to Krishna, who has come in the form of Srimad-Bhagavatam. I'm offering my obeisances to Krishna. What does the Srimad-Bhagavatam do? Paramananda Pataya. By reading Srimad-Bhagavatam, one will experience great bliss. In the 10th canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam, which I was talking about, when Sudama goes to meet Lord Krishna in Dwarka, when that episode is being discussed, episode is almost about to start, Parikshit Maharaj is talking to Shukdev Goswami. And Parikshit Maharaj says, my dear Shukdev Goswami, people try so many different things to be happy, but no one is happy. Are people happy in this world? How much ever you try, how much ever money you spend on casino, this, that, you eventually are frustrated. Parikshit Maharaj says the formula of happiness is very simple. Just sit and hear Bhagavatam, read Bhagavatam. You will experience not only Ananda, Paramananda, great bliss by reading Bhagavatam. Prema Varshi Akarshayate. Because each word of Bhagavatam will shower a rain of nectar of love. We are all looking for that love in life. By reading Bhagavatam, we will experience a lot of bliss. So therefore, Sanatana Goswami recommends here, Sarvada Sarva Sevyaya. Always, everyone at all times should serve Srimad-Bhagavatam. This Bhagavatam is for everyone. And when one should read it? Always. Constantly read Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Madeka Bando Mad Sangin Mad Guru Mad Mahadana Mad Nistaraka Mad Bhagya Mad Ananda Namostute. Sanatana Goswami says here, Mad Ek Bandhu. My only friend is Srimad-Bhagavatam. We may have so many friends in this world, right? But at time, all of them just leave and go. Because no one can stay with you. Because you are depending on someone for your happiness, but that person is depending on someone else, right? So in this world, there is this love triangle, love whatever, rectangle, whatever, you know. So no one can actually satisfy you in this world. But here, Sanatana Goswami says here, Mat Ek Bandhu, Srimad-Bhagavatam, this book will be our best friend. Mat Sangin, our constant companion. Man Mahadana, this is our greatest wealth. Sanatana Goswami was writing this, he's just not writing these verses, he actually followed it. He was a multi-billionaire 500 years ago. He was actually the prime minister of an entire state. And in those days, Bengal meant Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand and lot of Orissa also. Very huge province. Sanatana Goswami was the prime minister, so wealthy. But he gave up all that just to dive deeper into Srimad-Bhagavatam and Vrindavan Dham. Man Mahadana, this is our greatest wealth. Man Nistaraka, by reading Srimad-Bhagavatam, we will get liberated. This book will liberate us, just like it liberated Parikshit Maharaj. Mad Bhagya, our fortune will open by reading Srimad-Bhagavatam. Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Pakshilata Bij. As I told you in the beginning, only very, very fortunate people can come in touch with Bhagavatam. This is the greatest fortune. Mad Bhagya, Mad Ananda Namostute. And this Bhagavatam, which can give me great bliss, I offer my obeisances to it. And then he says, Asadu saduta dayin ati neecha uchchata kara aha hana muncha kadachin mam premna rit kantayo spruha. He says, by reading Srimad-Bhagavatam, what will happen? Asadu saduta dayin. Asadu means a non-devotee. All of us, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we are all non-devotees only. We don't have any interest. How many of us who are here in the process wanted to become a devotee? Very rare. Right? None of us really wanted to be. But this book is so powerful. Just by coming in touch with this book, what will happen? Even an unsaintly person can become saintly. Whoever you are, by reading Bhagavatam, you can become saintly. Asadu saduta dayin. As I told you, Srila Prabhupada went to America. And who are the people who came to Srila Prabhupada? All asadhus, all non-devotees. Prabhupada made all of them into living saints. Started to follow saintly life. Why? By reading Bhagavatam, this transformation can happen. Ati neecha uchchata kara. Even if you are the most fallen, this book, just by reading it, it can make you the highest. The most fallen people can become the highest acharyas. And we have many, many stories like this. Of Jagai, Madai, unlimited number of stories of people who are most fallen, came in touch with Bhagavatam, became the highest. The story of Narad Muni. He was born in a previous life as a son of a maid servant. A very low life. No proper education. Not even, he didn't even have money to go to school. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport. But he became Narada, the greatest authority, because he came in touch with book Bhagavat and person Bhagavat. Aha muncha kadachin mam premna rit kantayo spruha. So Sanatana Goswami has one prayer. My dear Lord, please don't leave me. He's praying to Bhagavatam, please never leave me and go. Let chanting of Bhagavatam, the verses of Bhagavatam, the meaning of Bhagavatam, Krishna's pastime, always remain in my throat. Let me only do this. This is just not Sanatana Goswami's prayer. If you read the prayer of Prahlad Maharaj, when Lord Narsingadev comes in front of Prahlad, or when the Lord comes in front of Nalukuver, Manigriv, so many people, and the Lord is asking them, what do you all want? The only prayer they always ask is, let us always be in the association of devotees, where we can continuously hear and read Srimad-Bhagavatam. This is the prayer of people who have seen Krishna face to face. So Sanatana Goswami is inspiring all of us that we have to be continuously in touch with Bhagavatam. Our only prayer should be, whatever happens in life, let us not leave this process of Krishna consciousness. Yesterday in our program, we were singing the song of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur explains in this song, "E sab chodat kahi nahi jao, e sab chodat parana harao." My dear Lord, let me not give up this process of Krishna consciousness, which I have got after millions of births. After wandering in millions of species, one gets this opportunity. Let me not leave this and go. So these are few verses of Sanatana Goswami from Krishna Leela Stava, where he is glorifying Srimad-Bhagavatam through his own realizations. When Lord Krishna departed from this world, I told you, after that Bhagavatam was spoken. But when Lord Krishna departed from this world, the wives of Lord Krishna who were in Dwarka, they were feeling a lot of separation from Lord Krishna. Because you can imagine their position. They have seen Krishna face to face. They have slept with Krishna. They have served Krishna. Now someone who has got that, and now Krishna is no more there, it's a big pain. We may not be able to connect to their suffering, but I'll give you an example you'll be able to connect to. Imagine if someone comes and gives you 100 crore rupees and tomorrow you lose it. How will you feel? We understand what that pain is, right? Suffering, madness, will become mad, literally, no? If someone didn't give us that money, that's a different thing. It came to you, it came to your bank, and suddenly it's lost. Oh, it's craziness. It's craziness. For these gopis, they were with Krishna and Krishna is gone. They just couldn't handle that separation. They were going mad. At that time, Krishna's great grandson, his name was Vajranab. Krishna's great grandson, he and Parikshit, they go to Dwarka and tell all the queens, let us go to Vrindavan. Vrindavan is Krishna's abode. Just by going to Vrindavan, you all will not feel so much separation from Krishna. You can see all the places where Lord Krishna did pastimes. So they all agreed. So along with Krishna's great grandson Vajranab and Parikshit Maharaj, they all go to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, there is a place called Govardhan, the Govardhan hill that Lord Krishna lifted. So there is a sarovar called Kusum Sarovar. So they all sat there and started to do Kirtan, Hari Kirtan, intensely chanting. Now we may chant Hare Krishna, but we chant it very mechanically. But these queens of Lord Krishna who are not with Krishna, now they are not seeing Krishna, they had so much intensity, they were crying out to Krishna in the chanting of the holy names. And when they were chanting like this, Uddhava suddenly appears there. The story of Uddhava I was mentioning in brief yesterday. Who was Uddhava? Uddhava is Krishna's cousin, right? Just like Arjuna is Krishna's cousin, Uddhava is also Krishna's cousin. So he was a constant companion of Lord Krishna. Krishna stayed in this world for 125 years. Out of that, it is explained that 99 years Uddhava was constantly with Krishna. That was how dear. Krishna wouldn't do anything without consulting Uddhava. Constant companion of Krishna. But one time, Lord Krishna sends Uddhava to Vrindavan. When Lord Krishna had left Vrindavan and gone, he tells Uddhava, please go and meet Radharani and the gopis. Try to convince them. Give them some philosophy. When Uddhava comes to Vrindavan and meets the gopis and especially sees Radharani's love, Uddhava completely becomes humble. He understands that in front of them, I don't have any devotion. At that time, Uddhava expresses a desire that I want to come back to Vrindavan and be born as a grass, as a gulmalata, so that the dust of these gopis and Radharani can fall on my head. So this explains that after Lord Krishna left this world, Uddhava came to Vrindavan and he became a creeper, a grass called Gulmalata, in this place called Kusum Sarovar. So when all these queens of Lord Krishna, Vajrana, Parikshit, all of them do Kirtan intensely, Uddhava appears from that grass. He comes in that actual form. And when Uddhava appears there, Parikshit and Vajranath, they tell Uddhava that these queens are feeling so much separation. Please speak Srimad-Bhagavatam. And there, Uddhava starts to speak Bhagavatam. Now, these queens were not seeing Krishna. What they were doing now? They were hearing Bhagavatam. They were hearing about Krishna. And just by hearing about Krishna, they started to feel Krishna's presence. Because when you hear these pastimes, you actually enter into these pastimes if you are deeply absorbed. So they started to feel Krishna's presence. And at one point, they left their bodies and entered into Krishna Leela, that spiritual world. The pastimes they were hearing about, they actually entered into that. That's how their lives end. So they also attain the spiritual world. How? By hearing Srimad-Bhagavatam. So in this section, where Uddhava meets the queens of Lord Krishna, so there is the glories of Srimad-Bhagavatam mentioned. This is from Skanda Puran, Vaishnav Kanda. So it says here, Srimad-Bhagavata yatas yata Srimad-Bhagavata sada swarupam ekam evasit satchit ananda lakshanam. So this is from Skanda Puran. It says, Srimad-Bhagavatam and Krishna are one. They are filled with bliss and knowledge. So it says here, Shri Krishna Sakta Bhaktanam Tan Madhurya Prakashakam Samrujbhati Yad Vakyam Vidhi Bhagavatam Hitat. This Srimad-Bhagavatam, the text of Srimad-Bhagavatam is filled with sweetness and Lord Krishna's devotees are attached to it. What does Bhagavatam contain? Jnana Vijnana Bhakti Anga Chatustya Param Vachaha Maya Mridana Daksham Cha Vidhi Bhagavatam Chayat. So it says that this Bhagavatam has 4 topics. It explains real knowledge, realization, spiritual realization, bhakti, and the devotional limbs of bhakti. And it says here, Maya Mardanam Daksham. By reading Bhagavatam, what will happen? You will become expert in subduing illusion. This Maya Shakti is everywhere. By reading Bhagavatam, we can overpower Maya. Thus, Bhagavatam is known to be non-different than Krishna. So it says here, Pramanam tasya ko vedo hi antasya akratmanah brahmane harina taddik chatushloka pradashita. Bhagavatam has no limits. Just like Krishna Leela is unlimited, Lord Krishna is unlimited, Srimad-Bhagavatam is also very much unlimited. And by reading Bhagavatam, Granto Shadasha Sahasroyo So Bhagavatat Bidha Kaligraha Grihitam Sa Eva Paramashraya. So it says here that this book Bhagavatam, which contains 18,000 verses, Bhagavad Gita has 700 verses, Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses. So it says here that in this age of Kali, the ultimate shelter, Paramashraya, we are all looking for shelter. Just like, if there is a rain, what do you look for? If it's raining heavily, you look for a shelter. Or there's storm everywhere, you look for a shelter where you can get security. So this place is a place where there is constant rain of suffering, misery, heat. Like if it's too hot, you look for a shade. So similarly, we are all looking for ashraya, shelter. Someone, somewhere where we can get shelter. Srimad-Bhagavatam is that Paramashraya. It can give us actual higher shelter, because Kali Yuga is an age where there is constant suffering. The suffering intensity is increasing more and more. So in this way, we have the example of Parikshit and we have the example of the queens of Lord Krishna. Both of them heard Bhagavatam and both of them entered into the spiritual world. In fact, our acharyas explain here, Parikshit Maharaj, Vajranab and all these queens, they came to Kusum Sarovar. And Uddhavji is speaking Bhagavatam. Parikshit is about to hear Bhagavatam. That same time, the news comes that some Kali Yuga, some elements have increased or things like that. And Parikshit had to go away. And Parikshit was feeling, what will happen to me? I am missing this opportunity to hear Bhagavatam. So that time, Uddhavji tells Parikshit, now you go attend your duties. Later on, Shukdev Goswami will come in your life and then you will hear Bhagavatam from him. And then Parikshit goes away. So in this way, we saw some of the glories of Bhagavatam that is mentioned even in the Skanda Purana. There's a verse in Bhagavatam which says, Krishna Swadama Pagate Dharma Jnana Dibhisaha Kalo Nashta Drishamesha Puranarko Dunodita. This is a verse in Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 3rd chapter, 43rd verse. We will discuss this verse. So here it says, this is a verse spoken by Sutta Goswami. The same principle, when Lord Krishna disappeared from this world, when Krishna Leela ended, Kali Yuga started. At that time, Bhagavatam comes in the form of a sun to bring about auspiciousness in everyone's life. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarvashrai Prati Shloka Prati Akshare Nana Arthakai. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This verse says, Krishna Tulya Bhagavata. Srimad-Bhagavatam is as good as Krishna. Vibhu Sarvashray. Krishna is called Vibhu. We were discussing this in the Journey of Self-Discovery course. We are all infinitesimal. We are all called Anu. And Krishna is Vibhu, unlimited. Srimad-Bhagavatam is also unlimited. Sarvashray. Srimad-Bhagavatam is the shelter of everyone, just like Lord Krishna is the shelter. Prati Shloke Prati Akshare Nana Arthakai. Every shloka, what to speak of every shloka? Every word of Bhagavatam has unlimited meanings. Unlimited meanings. That means we can spend our entire lifetime diving into Srimad-Bhagavatam. But the problem is we are not able to connect. The problem with Indians is that we have the most important books with us, but we are not reading it, we are not appreciating it. We are looking for something in the West. We are not able to appreciate what we have. Srila Prabhupada, when he went to London, so one of the reporters asked Srila Prabhupada, why have you come here? Because generally Indians go to the West to earn money, to get something from there. Because India is considered to be a poor country. Prabhupada said, you British guys, you all ruled India for like 200 plus years. You all looted everything away. All. So Prabhupada, in one sense, British Museum means stolen property. You go to the British Museum, all what you see there is what is taken from India. So Prabhupada said, you all looted everything away. But the most important wealth you are forgot to take. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, I am coming to distribute here free of cost. Most important wealth. So the point here is, Prati shloke, prati akshare, nana arthakai. There is so much wisdom, there is so much to study in these books. We have to remove some time. We have just started this process, but if you all can keep coming regularly, you all will be able to appreciate this book more and more deeper. There's a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita which says, Bharat Bhumite Hoila, Manushya Janmajar, Janma Sartak Kari Karo Paropakar. It is a duty of every Indian to perfect one's life. And how do you perfect your life? By reading Gita Bhagavat and then try to distribute it to others. How one should hear Bhagavatam? Bhagavata, so this is another verse in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Bhagavata Tulsi Gangaya Bhakta Jane Chaturda Vigra Krishna Ei Chari Sane. In this material world, there are 4 manifestations of Krishna. If you have to see Krishna in this world, Krishna appears in 4 ways. Bhagavata, as Bhagavatam, as Tulsi, as Ganga, and as a devotee. If you want to connect to Krishna, you will be able to connect to Krishna through these 4 things. Through Bhagavat, through Ganga Mata, by taking snan in Ganga, by serving Tulsi, by putting water to Tulsi, and then by associating with a Bhakta, with a devotee. So in this way, these are more of the glories of Bhagavatam. Shranvata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantastovi Abhadrani Vidunoti Surad Satam. So this verse of Bhagavatam says, by reading and hearing Bhagavatam, Shranvata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantastohi Abhadrani, all the impurities in the heart are destroyed. In the initial verses of Bhagavatam, in the introductory verses, there's a very beautiful verse. Nigama kalpa taror galitam phalam Shukamukat amrita dravya samyutam Pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. This is like an introductory welcoming verse. So it says here that what is Bhagavatam? Nigama kalpa taror galitam phalam. If there is a tree, a wish fulfilling tree, I told you the essence of that tree is a fruit. But Bhagavatam is what kind of fruit? Galitam phalam, ripened fruit. What mango we like? Ripened mango or raw mango? Ripened mango. And Bhagavatam is what kind of mango? What kind of fruit? It is a fruit without skin, without seed. Have you all seen any mango like this? Without skin, without seed? This is Bhagavatam. And it is said here, Shukamukat Amrita Dravya Samyutam. It is explained that if a parrot puts his beak on a fruit, like if a parrot eats a fruit, the fruit becomes more sweeter. If a parrot touches its beak, the fruit becomes more sweeter. Have you all ever tasted a fruit like this? Parrot? You all can bring a parrot and keep it in your house. But what it means here, Shukdev Goswami, who is speaking Bhagavatam to Parikshit, who is Shukdev Goswami? Shukdev Goswami, Srimati Radharani's parrot. Come my Shukdev Goswami. It is explained, after Radha Krishna left this world and went, Radharani's parrot was feeling so much separation. Now imagine, I was speaking about the queens of Krishna being with Krishna. This Shuka, this parrot was constantly with Radharani. Radharani would feed pomegranate seeds to Shuka, to this parrot. And now Radharani is not there. He was feeling so much separation. And then he goes to Bhuvaneshwar and there he hears Bhagavatam from Shiva and Parvati. There's a place in Odisha called Bhuvaneshwar, called Ekamravan. So there was a huge mango tree. Speaking about mango, there was a huge mango tree below which Shiva and Parvati would sit. And Shiva, what he would do? He would read Bhagavatam to Parvati and Parvati would hear. So Bhagavatam is such an exalted book that all the greatest personalities have been reading and hearing Bhagavatam. This is an activity of a liberated soul actually. So Shukdev Goswami, he started to hear Bhagavatam after he was feeling separation from Radha Krishna. So because Bhagavatam is already a ripened fruit in the essence of all Vedas, now because it is coming from the mouth of Shukdev Goswami, it has become all the more ripened, all the more sweet. So we are all, just like I told you, we are all looking for the juice, nectar in life. But the real nectar, the real juice, the real Amrit is it's hidden in the pages of Srimad-Bhagavatam. it may take time for us to connect to this book. Initially, it may appear too big, too complex, too technical. But once you connect, once that connection happens, then it is great. Then it is life is like sorted completely. So one of our great sannyasis, our great gurus in ISKCON, he would tell the story. When Shukdev Goswami was speaking Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, that time the demigods come there and the demigods get Amrit. Here Shukdev Goswami is giving one kind of Amrit. What Amrit? The Amrit of Bhagavatam. The demigods had another Amrit. What Amrit the demigods have? Anyone knows? During the Samudra Manthan Leela, that Amrit was got, na? Like people go to Kumbh Mela to taste that Amrit. That Amrit was there with the demigods. So the demigods got that Amrit. And they gave one jug, one drop of Amrit is big. People go to that Shahi Snan to take one drop of that Amrit. They gave one jug of Amrit from Swarga to Shukdev Goswami and told him, you also drink, give Parikshit also, he will also become eternal, and give in exchange give Bhagavatam to us. You take this Amrit from the Samudra Manthan Leela, in return give us what? Amrit of Bhagavatam. Shukdev Goswami told them, get out. You are trying to compare Bhagavat Amrit with that Amrit. This is a big offense. Bhagavat Amrit is so great, it cannot compare with this insignificant Amrit. Don't compare this. And Shukdev Goswami told all of them, please go out. So one of our great sannyasis, one of our great gurus in ISKCON, Gaur Govind Maharaj, he explains the story and he tells that Bhagavatam, even the demigods couldn't get it at that point. They were also not qualified to get it. So that means even great demigods are hankering to get some glimpse, some nectar of Srimad-Bhagavatam. So these are the glories of Bhagavatam, which is literally unlimited. I'll just end with few more verses, and then probably we can take up some question and answers. So it says here, Yasyam vai shrunumanayam Krishne parama purushe bhakti utpatyate pumsa shoka moha bhayapaha. By reading and hearing Bhagavatam, what will happen? Yasyam vai shrunumanayam. By hearing Bhagavatam, what will happen? Krishne parama purushe bhakti utpatyate. First is bhakti to Krishna will arise. And second thing is shoka moha bhayapaha. Three things will run away from our life. What are the three things? Shoka. What does shoka mean? Sadness, lamentation. All of us have, na? All of us have sadness. Everyone may have smiling faces, but crying hearts. Everyone has a crying heart. You cannot show it outside, but everyone has a crying heart. Everyone has some sadness, some lamentation. Moha. What does moha mean? Attachment. Yes, attachment also correct. That is also correct. And moha also means illusion. Right? It is also illusion. One time, one person came to one of our devotees and told him, Prabhuji, I have been practicing bhakti for a very long time. Lust, anger, pride, everything is gone. Only envy is left. This devotee told him, this is the biggest illusion. Thinking that everything is gone. So we are all in illusion. So one devotee wrote to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, sometimes I fall in Maya. Prabhupada wrote back to him, not sometimes you fall in Maya, you are always in Maya. Sometimes you come to Krishna. So we are all in illusion completely. And then shoka moha bhaya. What does bhaya mean? Fear. Constantly in fear. By hearing Bhagavatam, all these three go away. And the example is again the example of Parikshit. Parikshit is a young man, beautiful wife, children, successful career, whole kingdom is his, everyone respects him. And right at the peak of his career, peak of his youth, he is cursed that he will die. It's a big blow. He could be lamenting, he could be crying. And there is so much fear. The biggest fear is the fear of death. Right? Everyone fears death. But Parikshit Maharaj, after he heard 7 days Bhagavatam, he became fearless. Fearless. He was waiting, whatever that death has to come, let it come. I have no problem at all. Just like a student who studied his exam, his syllabus very well. When he sees the exam paper, will he become scared? No, because he's done his study well. Someone who's not studied only, seeing the exam paper, he'll start sweating. Right? Parikshit, because he had studied his syllabus well, when that final exam of death came, he was fearless. All of us, today or tomorrow, we have to face that final exam. To pass that final exam, what is the syllabus? Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the syllabus. Right? We are doing an introduction, we are getting into the syllabus. But if you read Bhagavatam, automatically there is fearlessness. Yaha Bhagavata pada Vaishnavera sthane ekanta ashraya kara chaitanya charane. So it says here, Yaha Bhagavata pada Vaishnavera sthane. One should read and hear Bhagavat from whom? Another Bhagavat. This is also very important. One should hear Bhagavatam and read Bhagavatam from someone who is living according to Bhagavatam. See, this Bhagavatam is not a book that you study in a normal way. See, these are books of Krishna. You have to read these books the way Krishna wants you to read. If you read it in a way that I want to just understand philosophically, you're not ready to practice it, it will not help you. So you have to read and hear from someone who's in parampara. Very important. Otherwise, it has no value. There is one verse Prabodhanand Saraswati mentions, just like a snake, milk is very, very nutritious, right? But if a serpent puts its tongue in the milk, that milk becomes poisonous. It will look like milk only, but it will harm you. Similarly, Bhagavatam is very nectarian. It can nourish us. But if you hear from the wrong person, it can be very, very detrimental. You have to be very careful from whom also you hear. Then it says, Katha, please hear this, the last few verses which will inspire all of you all to take up study of Bhagavatam seriously. Katha Bhagavatsyapi nityam bhavati yadgrihe yadgriham tirtha rupam hi vasatam papanashanam. So, any place where Bhagavat Katha is going on, regular recitation, Katha Bhagavatasyapi nityam bhavati yadgrihe tadgriham tirtha rupam hi. The house, the place where regular recitation of Bhagavatam is going on, what happens? That place becomes a tirtha stali. It becomes a holy place just by reading Bhagavatam. Papanashanam, vasatam hi papanashanam. All impurities are immediately destroyed. People go to a holy place for what? To destroy impurities. Just by reading Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavatam, all impurities go away. Ashwamedha sahasrani vajjepa shatani cha shuka shastra katayascha kalam nartha shodasham. It says one may perform 1,000 horse sacrifices and so many other sacrifices, but it cannot be compared to 1/16th of the benefit of reading Srimad-Bhagavatam. Just by reading Bhagavatam, you get the benefit of doing thousands and thousands of Ashwamedha Yajna, so many other yajnas. Then it says, Tavat papani dehesmin nivasati tapodana yaman no shruyate samyak Srimad-Bhagavatam nare. Tavat yavat. Tavat yavat means as long as, till then. Till one hears Bhagavatam, there is sin in one's heart. There may be sinful activities. As soon as one hears Bhagavatam, what will happen? With rapt attention, what happens? Sin automatically leaves that place. Shlokardam shlokapadam va nityam bhagavatodbhavam patasva swamukena yadishyapi paramgatim. If you want to achieve paramgati, highest perfection, one wants to achieve peace, what one should do? Shlokardam shlokapadam va nityam bhagavatodbhavam. Regularly, one shloka, half shloka, some way or the other, we have to get connected to Bhagavatam. And then it says, Antakali tu yenaiva shruyate shuka shastra vak pritya tasaiva vaikuntam govindo hi prachyati. If one hears Bhagavatam at the time of death, we are all very close to that moment. If one hears Bhagavatam, Govinda becomes very pleased, Krishna becomes very pleased, and Vaikunta, Govindo api prachyati. One actually attains the spiritual world. In this way, the Bhagavatam glories are unlimited. So this was just an introduction for all of y'all. As I told y'all in the beginning, it's a great fortune that we are able to do this. We are embarked on this journey. We can all pray to Shukdev Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj, and all the great acharyas, to Lord Krishna, that we can actually take this to the completion also. So the way I plan to do these sessions ahead is, from next week, we will actually get into the first canto of Bhagavatam. So I would highly recommend all of y'all to at least have the first canto. If y'all can take the full set, please do take it. As I told you, it's not different than Krishna, it's worth the investment. So if y'all can take the full set, we can give you at a discounted price also, half the rate. Y'all can try to take the full set. Many devotees took it yesterday. Y'all can take the full set. If not, at least y'all can give us your name. We will at least get the first canto. Can you show that, Mataji? This is the first canto of Bhagavatam, which is there in English, Marathi, Hindi, any language. So if not, at least I would recommend you all to have this first canto by the next week, because from the next week we will actually get into this first canto from chapter 1 onwards. So then what will happen, if you have the book with you, as I speak, you all will connect to the book. I will tell you where it is, so that connection will happen. And then this book, which looks too big and too large and too difficult, may become more easier for you. You'll be able to understand how easy and approachable this book is. So I would highly recommend all of y'all. So the next week we will do a quick overview of the first canto. There are 12 cantos. The next week we'll do a quick overview, very short overview of the first canto, and then I'll summarize chapter 1. So every week, every Monday, I'll do one chapter overview. So that's how we plan to do the entire Bhagavatam. Ideally, Bhagavatam we should do every verse, every word properly. If we do that, it will take 40 years, 30-40 years. It may be a long time. So we will not get into that journey now. I'll give you all a quick crash course kind idea. Okay, anyone has any questions, any comments?
भागवतम को लेके गए, भगवद गीता नहीं लेके गए. Why did he choose?
Good question. Prabhuji's question is, why did Prabhupada take Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and not Bhagavad Gita? There is a technical reason also. Before writing Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada did write Bhagavad Gita, the entire manuscripts of Bhagavad Gita. When he was in his Grahastha days, Prabhupada did do that. But what happened was, one day he was out of his house and his wife, she wanted to buy some biscuits. And in those days there would be like a barter system. She didn't have money. So she gave away those manuscripts, Bhagavad Gita manuscripts, to buy biscuits. So Prabhupada put an entire endeavor to write the whole manuscript, and the whole thing was given away. So Prabhupada probably thought that Krishna wants me to write Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada wrote Bhagavatam and took it. Yeah.
Shukal Goswami also is considered as son of Brahma. Right?
No, he's son of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is son of Brahma, right?
Yeah.
Parashadoni. Not Vyasadeva is also not son of Brahma. Shukadeva is son of Vyasadeva. We will see the story of Shukadeva Goswami also in this. Anything else?
शास्त्र जी द्वारा लिखी जो भागवतम और इस तरह भी है क्या?
यही है ना, यही है ना.
उनके हाथ की छवि ओरिजिनल
यही ओरिजिनल ही है, डुप्लीकेट नहीं है, ओरिजिनल ही है. The verses are as it is. और कहीं पे होगा, होना चाहिए. अभी हमारे वक्त प्रयास कर रहे हैं सबको प्रिजर्व करने के लिए. So शायद होगा कहीं पे. Yeah, माता जी, ऐसा गुड क्वेश्चन. ऑनलाइन में भी है, तो सॉफ्ट कॉपी पढ़ने से ठीक है क्या, या बुक रखना चाहिए? आई वुड रिकमेंड अ बुक. आई वुड हाईली रिकमेंड अ बुक. अगर नहीं है तो सॉफ्ट कॉपी, पर हार्ड कॉपी होना इम्पॉर्टेंट है. कृष्ण को आप ऑनलाइन देखना चाहते हैं कि ऑफलाइन देखना चाहते हैं? ऑफलाइन देखना अच्छा है ना. ऑनलाइन कृष्ण को देखना वो भी ठीक है, बट या फॉर दोज हु कांट बाय, यस, बट फॉर दोज हु कांट बाय वी कैन ट्राई टू हेल्प यू ऑल, बट वी वुड हाईली encourage all of you all to have this.
What is the cost?
I really don't know what. Do you know the cost of? Might be it's not. It'll be like 600, 700 with that rate.
Discounted rate for Marathi, I think
Discount.
3040.
That is for the full set.
Full set.
Full set. So I would actually recommend all of you all to buy the full set, because gradually in time we will complete the first canto, get into the second canto. You all can take the full set. Actually, the set is very costly. We are trying to give some offer during Bhadra Purnima. We can try to give you a 50% discounted offer. Many devotees have already taken it, so please do take it. Last year, Journey of Self Discovery, when we had, our Smitesh came new. He took the whole set, and where have you reached? He's reached the 4th canto in 1 year. What has been your experience, Smitesh?
Brilliant. It's very.
He's got hooked on to it. You know, Smitesh has got hooked on. And it's not that he had any background of spirituality. He's like completely new to the whole thing. And he just picked up Bhagavatam. He's hooked on. He's gone to the 4th canto. So I would highly recommend all of you all. It's a one-time investment. You know, it will remain for generations in your place. So if you can buy the full set also, we have it in all the 3 languages. You can take it. If not, at least I would recommend first canto. So we may not have these copies. We'll have to order them. So if you all can give us your names according to what your need is, first canto or full set, accordingly we can order. Okay. So thank you all very much for coming. I hope and pray that sincerely that I too can do this, and all of you all also can be there regularly. This is our first class of Srimad-Bhagavatam. We are not even started first canto, but the success is if this entire group can remain till the last chapter of 12th canto. If we can do that, then Vaikuntha Viman will come for all of us.
So fortunate.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada.